You're watching Pedagogy TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
The wheel is turning and you can't slow down. You can't let go and you can't hold on. You can't go back and you can't stand still. If the thunder don't get you, then the lightning will.
Hello, welcome back to My Wheelhouse. As always, I'm your host, Sheamus. I'm joined again by Uncle Mike. Mike, how was your weekend?
Great. And
Yeah?
so it begins,
Yeah,
Shay.
so October
So
2nd
it
today. Preseason has already begun for other teams in the league. Saturday was the first day of games. Tonight.
I got a game.
You got a game.
I
Oh,
got
yeah,
a-
well, we'll play the game.
Oh,
Mike's
okay.
got a new game.
Well,
We'll play the game later. He's got a new
Usually
game.
you will bring all the games, so I figure it was my turn.
Yes, I'm happy for your input.
Okay.
So I'm going to the Celtics game tonight, our first preseason game. We're
Yeah.
playing the Hornets. Hopefully Malik Monk will be playing, but he's probably not going to be because of injury.
Oh, you're going to a Celtics game with Hayward and Irving, and the first thing you're going to say is you hope Malik Monk is playing?
Yeah, I hope he is. Obviously, I'm excited to see them, but you want to be interested.
The Celtics are healthy. Isn't that good to hear?
That's very
when
good to
you
hear.
see LeBron going down and Kawhi Leonard going down.
Yeah.
And,
Hopefully they can stay
Steven
healthy.
Says that, yeah, I know, but he says right now they are ready to go. That bodes well.
Matt's not here today, but we did our Dolly fantasy draft on
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
It went well. I got a lot of players overlapping from the My Wheelhouse Dynasty League to this league. I got Jokic again and stuff like
okay.
that. So it went well.
He looked good. I saw him playing.
You
the
see
other
his
night.
pass, his behind the
Yeah,
back
oh my
pass. He's
God, that was
incredible.
beautiful.
He's magical to watch. I think he's going to be really impressive.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a down. I think he's going to have an up.
Yeah, I could see him averaging like 8 assists a game this year. Like I don't think that's crazy.
More than Lonzo.
No, probably not.
A little disappointed.
Close.
Lonzo.
They'll be close.
Did you watch him?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Get to the wheel. We got a Christmas-colored themed wheel here. Oh, what a way to start. Pedagogy. Okay, I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. Okay,
Well,
so
I had to ask him the definition.
yeah,
to
okay.
start, but
So
it ends up I know what it means.
it's on the wheel because Jaylen Brown was getting interviewed by Abby Chin and Brian Scalabrine, and he was talking about
Scal, welcome back, Scal.
Yeah, love Scal. He was talking about how comfortable he was with the new guys in the team, how they're fitting together, and how well Brad was managing it. And basically, pedagogy is just a science teaching style or a coaching style, and how it's like basically your belief system and how you transfer it into coaching. So he used it in a sentence. It was crazy.
And Steven's got one of the best. He's
One of the best. So I just threw this up there as a way for us to be able to talk about the Celtics, what they're going to look like.
Yep.
You messaged me before the show, wanted to really discuss what you think the starting five would be, what the second five is going to be. Jumping right into it, I think we're going to start. Obviously, we're starting the big three: Gordon Hayward, Kyrie, and Horford. If Marcus Morris isn't dealing with legal trouble, I think he will be the starter.
He is dealing with
He
legal
is.
trouble.
But I
Did you see any of the testimony?
I didn't see it yet. Please tell me, because I haven't seen many
There's
details about it.
testimony that he kicked the guy in the head.
Oh, boy.
All right, on the other side of this, just to be fair
Yeah.
and balanced, or whatever you want to say, on the other side, there's audio of the guy that got kicked in the head saying, "This means big bucks."
Wow. Okay. Well,
So
that's
that's
nerve-wracking. Hopefully it was Markeith and not Marcus.
But that hurts the pedagogy. Pedagogy.
I think it's Goji. I don't know.
Why does he belong on this team?
I don't know.
Do we really need him? Do we miss him? Now he's got to adjust. He's got to come back from nowhere. He's a criminal. Why did we take a criminal?
Well, we didn't know he was being charged for that until
I bet
after
we
got
did.
it.
We did. He had been charged as
Well,
of day one.
if he is,
But you're talking about him being.
if he's permitted to play, I think that he will be the starter. If not, we'll see after that. I think Jaylen Brown's going to start at the 2 to begin the year. We could see Marcus Smart be plugged in there in times and places, but I think we like Smart leading the second team off the bench.
Here's what I'm trying. You're trying to read what Stevens in between the lines, around the corners, just to get. One thing he said that was really interesting is his vision of positionless basketball is 4 wings and a stretch 5.
Yep.
So that Horford becomes the stretch 5, but who becomes the 4 wings? Does that eliminate Morris? Does that eliminate Baines? Just in terms of what he would prefer, does it put Jaylen Brown in for sure? Does it put Smart and Jaylen Brown in there together?
Yeah. So it's okay. So we'll talk about the second unit, and then there's going to be a lot of units that they're going to play with. So do you think that for the starters, if everyone's healthy and everyone's able to play, is that kind of what you see it going on? Maybe someone different than Jalen, but basically that's what it is? Maybe Baines, but probably not.
Well, you say you got a top three, and then you actually got two guys to fit in there.
Right.
In my mind, when I was first thinking about it, was like Horford wants to go to the 4 and prefers it. He's not really saying that right now. He's saying it's okay to mix it up and do some and some. So I was thinking Baines. That's in my head. I was thinking put the big out there and move Horford to the 4, and then play Jaylen Brown and Kyrie and Hayward possibly. I'm starting to like Smart more and more as a starter.
Yeah.
And so I'm torn with that now. I'm trying to read what Stevens is saying and what he's thinking. He's thinking pace.
Yeah.
And you're hearing that all the time. What's the pace? What are we doing? It's how hard we're running right now. I'm throwing it all at him. I don't really, I'm not really thinking about fine-tuning this thing now. It's all about pace. I anticipate a fast pace.
Absolutely. I see. I agree. So for the second unit, I think Smart could be moving back and forth, kind of swinging between the 6-man role and the starting shooting guard. I think more minutes we played, he'll play more games off the bench, off the 6-man, because that's when we know he can contribute. And if he's gotten better, and if he's gotten quicker, he'll be even better at that role.
He's definitely gotten quicker.
So,
you see him last night?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked
trimmed.
really good. So I think the second unit is going to be Smart and Rozier in the backcourt. We're going to start. Tatum will be the guy who's going to come off. I think he'll probably be the 7th man off the bench. Tatum, and then the front court is going to be probably Baines will be the backup center, and then I think it's going to be some combination of Thies, Ojale, and Yabu, and it's just whoever's going to stand out most will be the backup power forward. And I think Yabu has the ability to take it, other than the other guys, because he has this more of a power inside, but at the same time he seems like he might be a little bit more defensive. I could see Ojale coming in. I don't know much about Thies. They say he's a great defender, so all these guys are very similar.
I've heard good things about him.
All these guys are very similar.
I heard Scal look right at him and say, "How's it?" And he looked at the backup point guard,
Nader, Larkin.
Larkin, and said, "How's it feel to be doing the skills game against a 7-footer?" While he's looking at CS, I wasn't thinking him as a 7-footer.
Yeah.
But getting to what you're saying right now, how about this? Who's going to score in that lineup that you got? And I think scoring off the bench is huge.
Right.
And so I'm thinking maybe Smart to the first team, Jaylen Brown to the second team, with Rozier being the point guard on that team, and bringing more points in. It puts an awful lot of pressure on Tatum, your lineup coming off the bench, that he's going to score right away. And where else will the points come in? You can't depend on Smart for shooting.
It puts a lot on Tatum.
Maybe Rozier's ready.
So something that...
he's going to score 10, 12 points a game out of those guys. It's going to be Tatum.
Tatum will score 10 points a game. Yeah.
As a rookie.
Over 10 points a game, that's not that crazy. He's a scorer. That's what he does.
No, I know, but I mean...
The majority of the roles, if he had more minutes per game,
he's scoring. It puts a lot of pressure on him right away that he's going to be the guy that's going to be the scorer in the second unit.
I think half the teams in the league, he's scoring 14 points a game this year. He's clearly got the mindset. He's got the abilities right now.
Everybody's talking rosy about everybody, but they certainly do talk good about him.
So something that we saw from the beginning of training camp last week, where they were doing lots of practice and scrimmages in Newport and the second half of the week, I forgot where they played, but a unit that played a lot together was Smart, Rozier, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Baines. And they said that
sounds like
they said that lineup kind of fits with your positionless basketball a little bit. I could see them running that lineup.
Tatum and Brown.
Right.
I like that.
I could see that lineup running with adjustment with maybe Gordon Hayward playing as well.
That puts Morris on the starting team.
Well, yeah, that just takes Jalen off the starting team, but then you have no 2 because Rozier and Smart are in that lineup too.
Who becomes the starting 5? So you get the big
That's not necessarily going to be the second 5 or first 5. That's just a lineup that I'm predicting they're going to look to a lot.
Okay, so I like that lineup.
I like that lineup. I think that has a lot of versatility, especially defensively. So I'm pretty interested in that. I think that we're going to use a lot of different lineups in the beginning of the season, and we're going to be really moving pieces around, trying to see what type of the puzzle works. And I think eventually, once we get to game 20, we're going to have 4 lineups that are very key.
When's that, January?
No,
December?
End of November will be played 18 games by then, I think.
Wow.
Pretty sure. So
I hope LeBron's playing an open tonight.
Yeah, of course he is.
Of course he is. It's coming fast.
He hasn't been injured once.
Yeah, he's missed 3 practices in a row.
You got anything else to say about Jaylen Brown? Jalen's...
yeah, I got a lot to say about Jaylen Brown. I mean, this is the type of show today. We could do a couple hours or we could do a couple of shows, because I considered last week a just monumental week in terms of flow of information and stuff. Historic in a lot of ways. But Jaylen Brown, he's 20 years old. He's going to be the union rep. I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with him. Before I said on the show, I think he's biting off more and he's getting ahead of himself and that he needs to step back. but I'm starting to hear some stuff starting to make sense out of him. As a 20-year-old, he may be pretty grounded, more grounded than I thought. He says he doesn't have the pressure on him to prove himself no more, that now he's it's just about him being him and playing. He may be a real good one.
I think he's going to be fantastic.
And you've been saying that a while. A lot of guys have been saying it a while. I've been backing off on him a little bit.
Yeah.
What they're saying, what they're guaranteeing about him, and they're all saying it, is elite defender.
Yeah, I can say. We saw it in the playoffs last year. We saw even stints of it.
I didn't see it as much.
I saw it.
I think he needs improvement before you can really call him elite at anything. I said that before, but I think he's on the verge.
Yes. So he's been rumored to be like having some type of meddlings with a clothing line. His rap name is J-Toven. So there's a couple different write it down.
J-Toven.
J-Toven. Yeah, that could be his nickname. J-Toven.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different things going on with Jalen. More things from training camp and just kind of it's kind of like a preseason hype, like they had like an open practice at the TD Garden yesterday. 3-point contest. Tatum beat Gordon Hayward. Skills challenge.
Yes.
Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier were in the finals, and Marcus Smart blocked Terry Rozier to win. There was J-Toven. What was the other one? They played knockout, and Brad came in third. Brad played in knockout, and he came in third.
It's fun, but
He's got a nice stroke.
I left that show after about 20 minutes or so.
Why do they play knockout? Isn't that like a game for like young kids?
Yeah,
I love it.
I think the whole day was for young kids.
That's true.
And when you thought about the welcoming line when they came on the court, all the kids and all getting down low, it was for
fun.
kids.
I liked
and we were as young as you are, as old as I am. We were both kids.
Yeah, I got excited.
And kids, boy, you really appreciate that night last night. But it wasn't really for
Kyrie gutted the crowd chanting "Let's go Celtics." I almost chanted for my computer.
Yep. I'm hoping on him. I'm hoping. I think he's.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll have to see tonight. Yeah. Ready to move on?
Yeah, we were going to play the game. I'm almost ready.
Well, that was the first topic.
Okay.
Okay, this is about the NBA anthem. So obviously the national anthem is sparking a lot of polarizing debates across the nation and everywhere, specifically with the NFL. With the NBA season on the cusp of starting, Adam Silver came out and made a statement that players are required to stand because of rules that were put in place because of the thing that happened with Abdul Rauf in the 90s. They actually instituted a rule where players are required to stand. So I wanted to get your insight on what you think actions players will be taking, whether players will be disobeying and kneeling, or whether there will be fines placed if the kneeling does happen. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that was part of the historic week, is that that in the NCAA scandal, I considered news that was important across the board for a long time to come. And what I saw here is that whole issue of the take of the knee, you got the two extremes, the two poles. You got President Tweet, and you got the Black Lives Matter on the two poles. And I'll give them, both of them, credit for creating the conversation and getting us to think about it. But you're looking for a rational look at things. And then you start to see people that you really respect, like Bill Russell taking a double knee with his Medal of Freedom on, and then Matt Light from the Patriots saying, I no longer feel like I want to be a Patriot. So you got those two poles still, but it's starting to push towards the middle. And as I'm thinking about things in my head, and the whole big issue, I'm saying, well, Tim Tebow, they got all over him for taking a knee and praying. That was bad, but now this is good. And those prayer circles they used to have, everybody kind of demonized them as like, what are the Christians doing? And even last year, well, I'll save this for my chump, but to get in line with what you're saying, the voice of reason starts to become Heath Evans, who I thought was really great in his approach, the expatriate who's now a commentator, really rational. Satch Sanders had a wonderful article on where the African American communities come from. So did Pop, had good things to say, Popovich, in terms of that we've never been there, and that he knows no black man that he has ever known that hasn't had to say to his family, this is how you act for the police. Okay, I'm not there. But I think the one that I see that is the galvanizing force is Adam Silver. Yeah. I think he continues to be amazing to me. It's like, can we get this guy out of the NBA and into running the country? I'm serious. I mean, I think he's all over this race issue. And you got Doris Burke for once, who's going to comes out and puts it in line and says, the NBA runs better than any other league, and it runs better than any other league because of Adam Silver. Yeah. And Adam Silver, it's a very inclusive league. He marches in the gay rights parade. He is giving the players a voice. The players believe in him. Look at Kyrie. Kyrie's coming out and Kyrie's saying, all good things about Adam Silver. Yeah. When Adam Silver, he's been able to enforce that rule. He's going to have them all standing up. He's telling them,
he's
I expect you to stand, and the players are accepting it.
Yeah, so the thing is...
Finish just one thought. Yeah. Compare that to the NFL, where you got Roger Goodell saying things like, spontaneous fun is good for the NFL, and then you got Beckham urinating like a dog, and guys grabbing their crotches, and that's the leader of the NFL. You compare that to Silver. Yeah. I think we're very fortunate to have him in leader. He's a great leader.
I agree, and I think that because of the respect that the players have for them, they're going to be able to, because they know that he respects their ability to protest in the way that they deem right and correct. So I think that players, you're going to see protests and you're going to see things, but Adam Silver is just saying this rule has been put in place. Like, I don't want to be put under pressure to have to fine you or do whatever it is. I encourage you to protest in your own way. Just please do it in a different manner than kneeling. I think players are going to be. We saw David West last season. He stepped behind the line, so that his team was in a line when the national anthem. So he stepped the line, standing by himself. Yeah. I bet you
interlocking arms.
Players. No, we already seen that. That already happened in the preseason. Interlocking arms.
That's solid. That's good.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some fists in the air. I think that there's certain things that just aren't going to be causing as big of a upset, maybe, that I think could happen, but will still get their message across because of how much respect they have mutually. I think Adam Silver wants these players to be able to get what they're thinking about across to fans and to media and to all.
Did you watch him make at the Board of Governors or whatever? Did you watch that speech that he made?
I didn't watch that.
What I just said and what you just said pale to the way Adam Silver puts it.
Obviously.
Well, I didn't say obviously. I mean, we're pretty bright guys. We're
not as smart as Adam Silver.
We're in the wheelhouse, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
But Adam Silver, and you got Goodell, and you got a leader of baseball, I don't even know who he is, and you got the other sports. This guy stands there, and you're just listening to and he says it exactly right. So at the same time that he says, I respect all the players and we want them to have a voice and we want them to be in their community executing their voice, at the same time he's able to enforce the rule and say, and here's where I hear that the rule came from. I hear the rule didn't come from where you, I hear that the rule came from when they D-Wade, just within the last couple years, that he stayed shooting layups during the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay, and I hear that was a reason, that the rule, the Players Association, everybody, that's what opened it up from the response.
I didn't realize that was a repercussion for that. But that's another thing. Around that same period that happened, players were wearing T-shirts, the I Can't Breathe T-shirts, all those things. That's the type of protest that we could see as well. Where they're making something visible.
If you judge by the NFL yesterday, again, I think what's really good about the whole issue is that there's points to be made, there's statements to be made. It's an unbelievably important issue, and maybe it's an appropriate time. Maybe the time has finally come where we can, as a country, as people, actually look at it, and we're looking for that middle ground. Now, yesterday we saw a lot of evidence of middle ground because you saw a change. Everybody's saying, well, they're all going to take a knee again. They're all going to take No. They made this statement, and now they're going to refine it, like you said, where it's going to be locking arms or whatever it is, and they're going to be in solidarity as a team, and that's important. So I found that in a lot of ways historic in the sense that I think back to when O.J. Simpson was acquitted, and how that divided black and white America, and how the whites look at that as a travesty and how the blacks looked at it as police oppression. And it wasn't really an appropriate time for that discussion, but now it seems like we're there with President Tweet and Black Lives Matter on the two ends and a lot of rational discussion in the middle. I hope that it keeps going and that maybe we can get a better understanding of what this is all about. I'm certainly, we both come from white privilege, and it's very difficult for us to understand that other side. And I'm starting to see things that are enlightening to me.
Yeah, I think that with the kneeling aside, I think he's going to be very liberal approach, and he's going to be pretty loose with coming down with punishments on players with whatever protest they choose to carry out. All right, ready to go for it?
Yeah.
We'll see. We've got a couple more of these. All right, Russell Westbrook signed a 5-year, $205 million extension, pushing his deal to like 6 years, I think 250 or 235 or something like that in total. He signed the deal on Kevin Durant's birthday, so he had 90 days to sign it, and he chose Kevin Durant's birthday to sign it. You can say whether that was petty or not, but I think it might have been on purpose. So now he joins Steph Curry and other players with these mega extensions as players that it really worked. But for him, it worked because this is really what the CBA was trying to achieve with having a small market team be able to keep their homegrown player and be able to have him benefit with monetary value, but also them maintain relevance in terms of competitiveness in the league. So I really like this. I think this is great for the Thunder. I'm very happy for the Thunder after losing Kevin Durant. I think the Thunder has done a great job. And I think we need to start talking about Sam Presti a little bit more. He gets respect across the board, but I don't think he gets enough. I think he is, especially after this offseason, he's placing his name on the top 4 in terms of GMs and front offices in the league, other than Ainge, Pop and the Spurs, and then the Warriors front office. I think he's right there with those four organizations. If you look what he's done, he stripped the team down to a rebuild when he took over in 2007, and they were still the Supersonics. He moved Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis for picks that ended up resulting in Serge Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins and a lot of other people along the way. They show that they have a really strong sense of being able to produce players that are contributing assets outside of the top 10 and outside of the lottery. They drafted Reggie Jackson late. They drafted Archie Goodwin late, and then they traded him for Andre Roberson, and he was like at the 29th pick. They drafted Steven Adams with the 12th or 13th pick. So they really have a strong training staff. They're really proving themselves that it doesn't matter that they're a small market. They look like they're going to be able to be a free agent destination for years to come. I think that this decision by Russell was reflected in the fact that he trusts this organization, and they've proven themselves.
Well, my reaction to it was that they're in a bind. They got Paul George that's saying, this is a stop, and I'm on. They got Carmelo at 33, with a 1 year. Yep. I think they had to respond to that to solidify Westbrook and hope that they can keep George and Anthony and have a couple-year window with this. And I think it may, and given his due, I think it may accomplish that. It may put him in a better position. So now they've got Westbrook that's happy. Right. They're taking care of him. Maybe the other stuff, if they have a good season and they're all feeling good about things, maybe they do keep George.
So that's something that I see. I think that Paul George cares about winning, and that's what he cares about most. And I do think that just because it's been stated that he said he wanted to play for the Lakers, I think that people are forgetting that, like, if this team succeeds, why would he not stay? It's a better situation for him. The Lakers don't have the ability to get 3 superstars. They could get 2 because they're going to be clearing up open spots. But would he rather go play with LeBron James and Lonzo Ball and then a complete fall off after that? Or would he rather stay there with an established team that's a playoff team that one injury to the Golden State Warriors, and this is a title contender? I think that I jumped after seeing this extension. I jumped the possibility percentage chance of Paul George staying from like 20% to something around 60, 65%. I think that he's much more likely to stay. Melo has a player option for $20+ million that he's probably going to take, and then maybe they'll restructure it. So I think he's here after this year. I think this 3 are staying together for multiple years in the future. And if they want to move Paul George down the road to the Lakers, that could be something that I could see happening. But I really like what they did there. I mean, Presti is. I feel like people don't like Presti because of the hard.
Did he come from Houston? Did he come from? Or has he always been there? He's always been where he is, huh?
I forget where he came from.
Okay.
2006. I have no clue where he was in 2006.
The guy that was Carmelo, that recruited Carmelo at Syracuse? Have you figured out who he is? I had his name and then I lost it, but he must be the assistant GM. Yeah. Because you were right last week when you said that. Yeah. I think this team, as much as any team in the NBA, has got to perform. Right. If they don't perform, and who knows until it actually happens, right. You know. And it's coming. So wow, we got the Celtics tonight, and we got. I can't wait to see some of these things happen. It's really exciting.
Right. I mean, like the one thing that people say that Presti was like known for is the Harden trade, and like obviously that's commonly accepted as one of the worst trades in the past century. But at the same time, like they were in a situation where they had 3 players that were all in USA team that were going to be all deserving of max contracts, and he rightfully chose the more deserving 2. Of Westbrook and Durant over Harden. Yep. And then he tried to get as much assets out of it at the time. He got Kevin Martin back, an 18-point per game, I'm pretty sure, scorer at the time. He got Jeremy Lamb, who was a young asset, who they projected that was going to be okay. They got 2 first-round picks. They got 2 second-round picks. Like, it was a good haul. They got off a couple contracts that were pretty bad, Daquan Cook and like Cole Aldridge, and multiple contracts that were really weak. So like even his worst move wasn't as bad as people are making it out to be. I think that he's really good, and I love that Westbrook made this move. I hope he stays there, and I hope that Paul George and Carmelo Anthony stay there too.
I'll judge the whole situation once I start seeing how they play, because
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not ready to like that team or to follow that team. Certainly it's got Carmelo on it, and
Yeah. I think you'll like Melo a lot more this season.
yeah, that won't be hard.
All right, preseason. All right, so preseason is 4 games in, where it started on Saturday with the Nuggets against the Warriors. The Nuggets won by 6. The Lakers played the Timberwolves right after. And then yesterday, the Hawks played the Heat, and the Clippers lost to the Raptors. So just some first impressions off of players that are worth talking about in those games. I'll talk about the least important ones first. John Collins, the rookie out of Wake Forest on the Hawks, he had 15 rebounds in 20 minutes. Josh Richardson had like 5 blocks. Bam Adebayo, 0 for 1 from the field, 1 for 8 from the free throw line. He didn't play very well. Delhi?
No, I did talk about him
You didn't
probably not being a real good player.
He didn't play that many
I know
minutes.
it's only one.
There's only one. Okay, Clippers. So this is the Clippers-Raptors game. I didn't really see.
I saw some of that.
I didn't see anything that was really super amazed me. The Clippers looked like they were in better sync than I expected them to be. I love
Yes.
Milos. Milos Teodosic looks great.
Yeah.
His creation off the pick and roll is really, really strong. His ability to find, cutting Blake Griffin, cutting DeAndre Jordan,
Yep.
Austin Rivers on the opposite side of the wing with the over-the-head pass. He had the 8 or 9 assists, and all of them were very
Who
miraculous.
started at the point?
They started Beverly. And
I like Beverly. I didn't know that he was first team All-NBA.
First
And
defensively.
defensively.
Yeah,
Defensively,
he's a hound.
I like him.
Yeah.
I liked how he played last
He's
night.
good. So I think that's what they're going to do. To start the season, Beverly's going to start, and I bet you they start Austin Rivers just because he's grandfather in as the coach's son, and like they want to give him this
Yeah,
chance.
Rivers has never done
they
that.
want to give him this chance to become a bigger role. But I think eventually Teodosic will out Rivers for the starting position.
Yeah.
I think they will start Teodosic and Beverly together because I think that's
Now, Teodosic is bigger, right?
Yes, but he is very weak defensively. In that game, you
Okay.
could see he was not as slow, not as fast on the defensive end as he was on the offensive end. So it was a clear lack of effort. He didn't have the quick hands.
Beverly had a couple nice picks.
Oh yeah, he's really good. But I'm
hands.
high on Milos. He
Yeah.
had a bad shooting
Well, I told
game.
you, they're my team that I think really could surface.
Yeah, we should organize a game. We were talking about what game we should go to. I think we should go to a Clippers game. The tickets are pretty reasonable for that game.
Okay.
But yeah, keep going. The Nuggets and the Warriors. We touched on Jokic and that pass.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible. Point guard battle between Moutier and Murray.
Yeah.
Moutier outplayed Murray. Murray was a little inconsistent, and Moutier's 3-point streak was happening. I literally think every single time Moutier has a strong game, I think it's a fluke because he'll have one strong game, and in the next 9 games he'll be a piece of banana peel in the trash because he's just not. He's not consistent. He can't shoot. He can't. For some reason, he isn't a strong ball handler. It's just everything that we thought we were going to be seeing from him. He isn't. I understand he's still young and he could develop, but I think it would be better for them to try to package him with some draft choices because they're leaning towards being more of a win now team than they were in the past couple of years. Clearly, coming out of a rebuild, and they're doing a strong job. I think they need to come out, maybe get another wing, or maybe get some more veteran presence to help them in a playoff run. Let's go on to Lakers T-Wolves. Karl Anthony Towns looks phenomenal. He looks like very impressive. His 3-point stroke is quicker. His release is fast. He made all 3 of them. They were all like contested threes. Defensively, he looked like he had a little bit more grit. He had one play where he drained a 3. Next play, he swatted a ball into the stands. I really like him. Brandon Ingram, I think he could finish the year shooting like 31%.
I agree with that a lot. I was expecting so much more from Ingram, and I don't see that team materialize. And Ball needs players, and I don't see
Yeah,
players
he does.
there.
He does.
You know, when he's pushing that ball up the court, he doesn't have anybody getting far enough ahead to create. And I don't know whether his defensive transition is going to be different for him. I thought he was okay, but I don't think that team's going to be very good.
That's something that you could see is Lonzo Ball is like a lightning rod, and if you put the right players around him, your team is going to be incredible. And I think that's something that's interesting, and that's going to come to fruition next offseason when it's LeBron's free agency and all the crazy and hype that comes around with that. And I think whatever player goes with LeBron to LA to pair with Lonzo, that team is going to be very strong because of Lonzo's ability to be an off-ball creator.
How do you think LeBron's going to play in that situation?
He's going to play great. Is LeBron not one of the best transaction basketball players that we've ever seen?
He is, but he dominates the ball more than probably any player in the league.
The thing about Lonzo is he doesn't need to dominate the ball. How many dribbles in a row do you see Lonzo taking? Not that many. He's very, very quick when he comes up the ball. He's passing it. If you're cutting and you're driving and you fill your lanes, a very basic instinct in basketball that NBA players don't do that often, Lonzo feeds you. You're cutting up the middle of the floor through 3 guys. He can hit you, and you can do one dribble, and you're at the rim just because Lonzo knows how to find you there.
We've talked about him throughout the preseason and the summer league. I thought Ennis looked real good.
Ennis?
The backup.
Tyler Ennis?
Yeah.
He had like 9 or 10 assists, I
I
think.
thought he looked really good.
I'm not really high on him. He ripped his jersey, right?
I don't know.
I think his jersey got ripped off, which was crazy.
Really, during the game?
Yeah, during the game. Like the entire back of the jersey
I
got
just
ripped
thought
off.
he played well. That when he came on the court, more happened with him on the court than Ball. I know it was Ball's first game,
Yeah.
but and he pushes the ball nicely too. But Lonzo has got the gift. He's got the gift that we talked about before, that Ernie D had, and very, very few rare players had that. His pass, his hands don't move, and when you see Ennis, he extends and passes. Bam! He just pops it from here and immediately sees the open man up the court.
No, I think that the team shows promise, and I think that Lonzo doesn't need to improve a lot for that team to be a lot better. His teammates need to improve, which
When
you
I
touched on.
saw his first shot, I thought it was moving less
Yeah.
to the ugly position.
Right.
I thought there was maybe about a 6-inch adjustment there. Maybe he's working on it.
He could be.
What did he end up with stats? Do you know?
5 points,
Yeah, that's what he had.
7 rebounds, and 8 assists. He
He had that
two,
in the first half.
He had 2 steals that were both very impressive in transition, just because you could tell his IQ was just brimming, and he just knew where the pass was going, and he picked it off. He only had 3 turnovers, and I don't agree with that. I think he had more like 6 or 7 turnovers. There was a lot of passes that he passed to someone. It was a bad pass, and they bobbled the pass, and it went out of bounds, or like he passed it off someone's foot and went out of bounds, but they get to keep the ball because it went off the other team and stuff like that. So he's going to really need to minimize his mistakes, and I think that we're going to see this team at a high level this year. The Lakers.
What do you mean by high level?
I think they're going to score 140 points a game, and they're
120 points in one particular game?
Yeah.
Where's their points going to come from?
I think Brandon Ingram is.
Brandon Ingram's going to shoot 31%.
Yeah, he is, but he's also going to have multiple 30-point games, maybe one 40-point game this year. Brandon Ingram he's going to be shooting. Magic Johnson said he wants him to lead the team in points. Brandon Ingram's going to be shooting over 15 times a game. He's going to have games where he goes off.
I mean, you forget how young these guys are sometimes, but I see a whole lot of growth ahead of him.
I agree. What do you think about Kuzma?
I thought Kuzma continues to be look like a nice player.
He's very unusual. Every single game we've seen him so far, he's shooting like 65%.
Lopez? Is he injured?
He's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt. He's waiting. So that's another big aspect. He's their best player, right? Isn't Brook Lopez their best player?
That's sad.
Right.
It
is.
Way. You know.
All right, we'll see.
I don't see
Preseason tonight. What's your prediction for the score for the Celtics Hornets?
the score.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a normal. I think we'll see plus 100. So I think we'll see 115, 108.
115, 108. Celtics get the win. I'm not even going to ask you if that's what you thought.
They don't have to win.
We'll do the last one of these. That's really quick. Kawhi's, they kept him out of the preseason, or they're keeping him out of the preseason.
The whole preseason.
Because of a thigh
ongoing issue.
Which is interesting because that wasn't the injury that he went down with at the end of last year. So it must have been an injury that happened in the offseason.
But they said it was an ongoing issue.
It was, but it was never stated at the end of last year. So do you think that this is just early onset pop being like, we're resting our best players? Because that's what I think it is.
No, he's not.
You don't think
resting.
it is?
No, because
I think he could play. I think he could play right now if he wants to.
Develop around Kawhi. I was thinking watching that watching their preseason analysis by the on the NBA channel that it was pretty easy for me to focus on who my least favorite player in the league is.
Who's your least favorite player?
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge. He's so bad. What happened to him?
Holy goodness.
Me and Logan were talking about him
So
last
now
night.
you take Kawhi out, and he gets the focus.
Oh my God! What happened? What
his
happened to him?
numbers are way down.
Have you ever
His
seen a
head is
drop off?
bad.
A drop off athletically? Like he
How
went
did
from.
Pop handle this?
It's so confusing. Okay, the craziest thing is this offseason might
and
be
I
the
don't
most.
like his attitude.
This offseason might be the craziest offseason we ever see. Obviously, any offseason that has LeBron, as I said before, is going to be crazy. So maybe next offseason will be crazy too. But 2 offseasons ago, it was LaMarcus Aldridge's summer.
I know.
It was LaMarcus
But then
Aldridge's
he
summer.
goes and shoots 41% against Golden State. His rebounds are down 3 a game. His points are down 6 a game. And
looks
he's got an
old.
I don't care
He looks
attitude,
old.
and he wants more minutes and more touches.
He's slow. He doesn't have the
slow.
same touch.
He's getting old.
Yeah, well, I was talking about his forte is in the high post.
I can't see resting Kawhi.
No.
You need to blend the rest of them
And
around him.
I think that Rudy Gay is their second best player, and and it's so weird because
if he's healthy,
because
that'll help him a
Aldridge's strengths
lot.
are the ability to score from the high post and the ability to be creative. And he used to have such a big arsenal. And when he turned in face, he would do 5 or 6 ball fakes before he would do anything. Now when you watch him have the ball, he's slow, he's indecisive. It doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He doesn't ball fake at all anymore. I don't really know. I feel like he just lost it. Maybe like athleticism. I don't know what happened. It's almost like the Monstar zapped his ability out of him. He's gone. He's fallen off the map completely.
Well, he's my least favorite player. You got a least favorite player in the league, or
I have like a lot of. I mean, Draymond is above and beyond my least favorite player in the league, and it's not even close.
he's your least favorite player in the league, Draymond Green?
Draymond Green is not even close.
You don't like him?
How do you not know this? Draymond Green is the most overrated player in maybe NBA history. Draymond Green's
Draymond Green?
Draymond Green's strengths are perfectly tailored to this team. His weaknesses are also perfectly tailored to be not visible on this team. His passing is the most overrated skill in the league. He's playing in an offense that has the most movement and three of the top 15 shooters all time and the best shooting coach all time. He is just tailored to being able to get every single pass he wants, and his defensive versatility is so overstated because of how many amazing other defenders there are on this team. He's not a good on-ball defender. He's a great off-ball defender, and he has great defensive vision, but that doesn't make up for every single other weakness that he has. I don't understand people's enamourance with him. He does not deserve any of it. He's a knucklehead. He also he attributes for literally just the forgotten rule of illegal screens. Draymond Green is the reason that illegal screens happen so frequently.
I'm glad that you've got a Carmelo, and that I'm glad you've got a guy like that.
He's awful. Do you see that team when he started on that team, contributing to them to being winning basketball? That team started setting illegal screens left and right, and now the entire NBA sets illegal screens just because it got desensitized to Draymond Green and what he was doing in that offense, and because of how much that helped their shooting. And literally, that just contingency just morphed the NBA, and now we just allow illegal play because Draymond Green did it, and we're rewarding him for it, and he's doing something wrong.
Do you think in his gut Steve Kerr doesn't appreciate him? And
obviously he does. He's a contributing factor.
Yeah, but I mean in his gut, not just that he has to say it. I think he's got one of the top 3 motors in the league, Draymond Green. I think he's much better than Jay Crowder. Much better than Jay Crowder.
Yeah, he's better than Jay Crowder.
And that if you look at how Brad Stevens P word
pedagogy,
he's really pushing that type of play.
So his best,
and that the better the motor, the better. I like that.
His best skill is
Draymond Green has that.
His best skill is his mindset, and I give props to his mindset.
It creates a team mindset.
No, that team has that mindset without it. I think that if you switch Draymond Green,
Curry is fairly soft.
If you switch Draymond Green to literally
Durant's fairly soft.
27 other NBA teams, he is relative to non-factor. I don't think that he's contributing. If you put him on the Nets, if you put him on the Bulls, if you put him on these teams, he is not going to be able to do anything.
You're giving him a death sentence with those teams.
If you put him on
Cleveland,
why?
I think he would contribute more than Love.
No. He can't shoot. LeBron names shooters. He's like a miserable shooter. He's one of the worst shooters.
You can have one guy on your team that isn't a great shooter. He does knock down some clutch shots.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. He had one
I hear you. I'm glad I asked you that question.
All right, let's play your game. Mike has a game. Let's play your game.
Yeah. Okay. So the game is...
Maybe Mike has a game. We'll see.
Guess the player by the nickname.
Okay. I'm going to be good at this.
Okay. You're going to be real good at this?
Yeah, I promise.
You want an easy one or a hard one?
I want all of them.
Good news.
Good news? I don't know.
Okay.
Can we give
Bad
me...
news.
Wait, team.
Bad news.
Marvin Barnes.
Okay. Good news.
What
Jim
team?
Barnes.
Jim Barnes?
Well, Jim Barnes was a good player.
I don't know who Jim Barnes is. Who's Jim Barnes?
He was bad news. The Rifleman.
The Rifleman is a Polish guy.
No, he's not Polish.
He's
in a whole lot of trouble right now.
He's foreign. He played...
Not foreign.
Who's the Rifleman?
Chuck Person.
Oh, yeah, he's in trouble for the NCAA.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, Tommy Gun.
Don't know. Heinsohn.
Tom Heinsohn.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll give you one that you probably... Oh, the round mound of rebound.
The round mound, the rebound. Dennis Rodman. Who is it?
No,
Charles Barkley. Sorry.
Charles Barkley. You finally got one. Okay.
What do you mean? I've got like 4 of these.
I mean, okay. Chet the Jet.
Chet the Jet.
This goes back.
Chet Walker.
Yes. Very well done on that one. I like that one. All right, I'll give you one more, and then we can play. There's a lot to this game. I got like 30 in a hurry. I'd like to play this some more, but the last one is Dancing Bear.
Yabusele.
Yes, very good. and that connects with,
all right, we're gonna
heads around the world unite. We got a dancing bear on the Celtics, and he looked great. Don't you think he looked?
Well, I don't know. We'll see tonight.
Yeah,
I hope he plays.
He looks huge.
He's
massive.
He's
massive. He's getting all these reviews from everybody. That
I'm excited about it.
Like Hoffman saying, I had no idea he was this good.
No, me either. All right,
And when he came through that line, man, he looked like a monster.
he's large. Him and Semi are they
I
need
mean,
to be a
but
tag
Semi's
team.
not as tall.
Yeah, but they need to be like a WWE tag team. Like those guys are crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But I'm looking for good things out of the Dancing Bear.
All right, we're
I'm
gonna
glad
do
you
some.
knew his
We're gonna
nickname.
do some faces.
How'd you like the game? Nice, huh?
I enjoyed it. We'll play more. We're gonna do some faces. You're gonna take on the persona of the player that you lift to your face. So go ahead. You can be.
So
the first.
I look at the
It's
face.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, sure. Look at the
Okay.
face. Who am I? Who are you?
You want me to turn to you?
Yeah, you're this person right now.
All right. So now I gotta say I'm a European. I'm from.
No.
You want to see it?
I'm gonna ask you questions.
Oh,
and
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
ask me
pretend to
questions.
be him. Okay, so
God.
you're Giannis Antetokounmpo. Dollar League draft. You went for $78. You were the most expensive player in Dollar League auction draft. Do you think that you can help win a championship this year in fantasy basketball?
In fantasy basketball, yeah, definitely. I got numbers all over the place.
Yeah?
I mean, they're coming from everywhere. Fantasy basketball is gonna love me.
I agree. Okay, yeah, sure, done. Let's see what this is. Gordo. How many points are you scoring tonight, Gordo?
Tonight's not that important. I want to get into the flow of the game. I'm going to run the court real hard. Whatever happens, happens. It's a little early to be thinking about how many points I'm going to score. If you want a number, 14.
14 points. Okay. Next face. I didn't prepare any questions. I'm just winging it. Who are you? Oh, you're Jason Tatum. What's up, Jason Tatum? How you doing? You got your mom a house and you're still living with your mom. How's your mom doing? Is she doing good? Is she loving the NBA career so far?
Well, a lot of what I am comes from my mom, and my mom's a solid person. There's nothing wrong anybody can say bad about my mom, and I'm going to be living out her the way she brought me up on this team, and you're going to really like it when you start looking at. And I don't even want to talk about myself, but if I was somebody else, I would say there's a whole lot of turkeys in this league, and I'm not one of them.
How many points a game are you going to score this year?
8.
8 points a game. Oh. Okay, last face for who am I? Oh, it's Jalen, Mr. Pedagogy.
Mr. Pedagogy, wait, he's going to be a coach someday?
I don't know.
He might.
Okay, so some people are really selling him short. Do you think that this is an act? Do you not think he's as smart as he is coming off
I
as?
could be him. Yeah,
You're him.
Me. Yeah.
Are you as smart? Are you as smart as everyone is you come off as? Are you really this smart? Are you a genius? What'd you get in your SATs?
To give you
What'd you get in your SATs?
It's hard not to talk as Uncle Mike, so I got my SATs. My SATs, I got a 700 in math. I'm into the engineering part of it. I've been going back to school. I intend to get my degree. I really believe in education. My parents believe in education. It's something that helps me as a player. I think I'm really grounded as a person because of the time I put into my academics.
I agree. Thank you for the time, Jalen. All right, we'll do a mailbag and then we'll call it quits. Just a couple of these.
Wow, that went fast.
Yeah, it was supposed to.
We got to do a whole show on NCAA basketball.
Oh, that's right. We'll talk about that next
that'd be nice. It'll be still there next week.
Yes, it's still going to be a
Who
problem.
knows how big that list will be.
Maybe more information will be out. Christopher would like to know, does Ante Zizic's rebounding off the bench kill the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals? Do you think he's even going to be a factor on the Cavs? He might play.
When they do that preseason preview, they're talking like he's going to get minutes.
They are.
And I think just the fact that he's going to get minutes is positive. But what we saw in the summer league, he's another one of those players that's got a whole lot of growth ahead of him. He's not nowhere near as good as Ingram, but I don't think you're going to see a lot from him this year unless there's an injury.
Here's what's going to happen with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaiah Thomas isn't playing until January. Dwayne Wade, Jose Calderon, and Derrick Rose are their three backcourt players. One of those, if not two of those three players, is going to get hurt in the first month of the season. They're going to have a rocky start to the season. They're going to be 25-18 come January, 25-20 come January. They're going to overreact, want to be able to compensate LeBron to be able to be motivated to stay. They're going to trade Tristan Thompson. They're going to trade the 2018 Brooklyn Nets pick.
And they're going to go with Zizic?
And they're going to bring in DeMarcus Cousins. And that's going to be their team.
And LeBron will be packing his bag so fast, your head will turn.
DeMarcus Cousins to the Cavs for Tristan Thompson. That's what's happening.
That'd be good for Anthony Davis.
Yes, it would be. Okay, Lucas would like to know, is this the season that Tommy Heinsohn calls it quits and puts ends to his storied career with the best organization in basketball, passing his reins to a worthy Scalabrine? Has any Celtic given more to the organization as Tommy, What's the best call of all time, and what call will you never forget?
Boy, Tommy Heinsohn is just, when you think about it, he won a national championship, I believe, at Holy Cross, playing with Bob Cousy and Joe Mulaney. The coach was Doggy Julian, a legendary. Then they had territorial draft rights for college. Did you know that back then? So if you were within 50 miles of your college, so they got Heinsohn and they got Cousy, and then they win all those championships. Then he becomes a coach and wins NBA titles as a coach. Then he becomes an announcer with Bob Cousy and keeps going there. He's in the Hall of Fame for all three things.
Yeah, he's magnificent.
He's 80 years old. He still makes as much sense as any analyst I see. I
think part of
I'm really stuck with him because I've been with him so long. But I love his insights.
I think he has really good insight. It's just the part of
he always does the home
his
games,
biasness. His biasness is what I love so much about him.
Of course.
So he's probably the most biased Celtics
So
fan.
what was his nickname for? Oh no, what was Bob Cousy's nickname for him? On all the broadcasts.
What did Bobby Cousy call Tommy Heinsohn?
Yeah, all the time.
I don't know.
Mon ami.
Mon ami.
Yeah, because Bob Cousy's French, so mon ami. He always used to
Bob
say.
Cousy's French?
Bob Cousy's French.
That makes me like Bob Cousy less.
Huh?
So that makes me like Bob Cousy less. Anti-French.
Well, he retired, and Heinsohn's still going.
Can you remember?
He must be about 80 years old.
Can you remember a Heinsohn call that you enjoy specifically?
A Heinsohn call?
Yeah.
I like Walter.
Yeah.
So always Walter.
That's definitely what
he always picks like.
He loves Walter.
I love Walter.
Yeah. There you go. That's his favorite call. All right. Let's see. Matt would like to know the pace of the NBA went from high pace in the 80s, slow pace in the 90s and early 2000s, and we are now back at the high pace again. Will the NBA ever revert to a slower pace, and what will have to happen for the slow pace to come back?
Well, a lot of it's not. There's a combination of things. So, yeah, the pace. You looked at the Detroit Pistons. You go through that era there where it really slowed down after the Russell Chamberlain years where they're scoring those points, Bird and the fast break, and now you're coming out, and now the three. You can still have a relatively slow pace and score a lot of points because of the three. The three's not going away.
No.
So that as more and more threes are shot, as that becomes, you're going to score more points. But it's going to take players like Lonzo Ball to actually bring a pace of the game out there. We'll see what Stevens does, because I love Stevens, and if he can get, Kyrie may be someone that's going to generate unbelievable pace out there on that floor, maybe. So
I think we're going to have a top five.
I really want to see the fast break. That's what that's what Tommy Heinsohn sees. That's what that's what we see as pace, not scoring a lot of points.
So I think just changes in general, just trends for pace in the NBA are based off of rules and just very trend-setting players. So when we saw the pace change, it was because of all these bigs coming into the league. We had Barkley, we had Malone. We have all these bigs coming into the league. Shaq comes into the league. All these players where offenses and defenses need to tailor to be able to defend, or offenses need to tailor their offenses to best suit those players. So now we're back in the situation where we've reduced rules, made it players more likely to be able to shoot, so that really opens up the floor. In addition to that, more and more youth coming into the game are guard-oriented. Even the bigs are swings and can shoot. So shooting changed a lot, and now the talent of the players that are coming in are tailored towards being faster paced. So the only way that it can transition back to being a slower pace is if somehow some type of rules restrict the amount of three-pointers are going to be attempted a game, and a big talent is going to come out.
Or if some coach comes into that league, Tony Bennett from the University of Virginia, and preaches, he's my favorite, and preaches defense to the extent that it slows their game down, and then they win. And then everybody wants to do it the way the team that won, right?
I think it's more likely that the pace has changed because another Shaquille O'Neal comes to the league. I think that's really the only way.
You see, Marvin Bagley's not going to be a Shaquille O'Neal.
No, he's not.
Joel
Exactly.
Embiid is not a Shaquille O'Neal.
No, because both those guys have games that are tailored to the NBA of fast pace, because they can shoot and they can stretch the floor and they're quick and they're fast.
So I don't know whether you're going to see that type of.
That's what I'm saying. That's what needs to happen for the league to revert back. They need to have a big dude that's a dominating force down low.
Or if they find another way to win. I think if you find another way to win, everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon and go with whatever works. Everybody jumped on the Detroit Pistons bandwagon when they went slow.
That's true. I don't have anything else. You want to give me a chump or two, and then we'll say goodbye?
There were so many chumps. It's hard to spread around the chumps that were chumps.
Right.
But I'll give you one,
Yep.
and it goes with the take a knee that we're going on. And I stay out of the politics of it, but. When they're on the sideline in Dallas, and you got Jerry Jones taking a knee, and he stops the national anthem to pull the photographer over to get in front of him so that he's the one that's the focus. I think that is really chumpus, especially when you consider only last year the Dallas Cowboys wanted to put decals on their helmets to commemorate the policeman that was shot in Dallas, and he wouldn't let them do it.
Yeah.
What a grandstander.
He's a chump for numerous reasons, but we'll talk more about the NCAA and maybe some other stuff next week.
Wow.
Thank you so much for joining us on My Wheelhouse. Check out welcometomywheelhouse.com.
Let the games begin.
That's right. NBA season, technically, kind of preseason. Starts tonight. Adios. Should be good. I'm excited for the game. I can't.
The wheel is turning and you can't slow down.